Scary stories to tell in the dark. Collected Folklore, retold by Alvin Shwartz. Illustrated by Gammell. High beams. The girl driving the old blue sedan was a senior at high school. She lived on a farm about 8 miles away from the school and used the car to drive back and forth. She had driven into town to see a basketball game. Now, she was on her way home. As she pulled away from school, she noticed a red pickup truck followed her from outside the parking lot. A few minutes later, the truck was still behind her. I guess we're going in the same direction, she thought. She began to watch the truck in the mirror. When she changed her speed, the driver of the truck changed his speed. When she passed the car, so did he. Then, he turned on his high beams, flooding her car with light. He left them on for almost a minute. He probably wants to pass me, she thought. But she was becoming uneasy. Usually, she drove home over a back road. Not too many people went that way. But when she turned onto that road, so did the truck. I've got to get away from him, she thought, and she began to drive faster. Then he turned his high beams on again. After a minute, he turned them off. Then turned them on again, and off again. She drove even faster, but the truck driver stayed right behind her. Then, he turned his high beams on again. Once more, her car was ablaze with light. What is he doing? She wondered. What does he want? Then he turned them off again. But a minute later, he had them on yet again, and he left them on. At last, she pulled into her driveway, and the truck pulled in right behind her. She jumped from the car and ran to the house. "Call the police!" she screamed at her father. Out in the driveway, she could see the driver of the truck. He had a gun in his hand. When the police arrived, they started to arrest him, but he pointed to the girl's car. "You don't want me," he said. "You want him." Crouched behind the driver's seat, there was a man with a knife. As the driver of the truck explained it, the man slipped into the girl's car just before she left the school. He saw it happened, but there was no way he could stop it. He thought about getting the police, but he was afraid to leave her, so he followed her car. Each time the man in the back seat reached up to overpower her, the driver of the truck turned on his high beams. Then the man dropped down, afraid that someone might see him.